rolled up sleeves on the rail, salt on the cuffs. You left your coffee half finished by the hatch. Be right back written on a napkin. I tucked it in my pocket, then checked the dock lights. A ferry horn cutting through the dark. We made it down after the crowd, wind still warm on the pier boards, hand on the wet metal gate. No big speech, just two people kicking sand off our shoes, heading out by the night sea before the boats came in. By the night sea before the boats came in. Your hair still smelling like salt and the foam still on your sleeves. By the night sea before the boats came in. By the night sea before the boats came in. I kept your note in my wallet till the tide ran low. Cold beer, the gulls still out, the fish market shutting down. You leaned on the side of the pier, turning a shell in your palm. Black water, August wind, half the benches left empty. We kept talking till the lanterns dimmed and the tide pulled back. Late wind on the harbor rail, blowing hard through the dark. No big speech, just two people kicking sand off our shoes, heading out by the night sea before the boats came in. By the night sea before the boats came in. Your hair still smelling like salt and the foam still on your sleeves. By the night sea before the boats came in. By the night sea before the boats came in. I kept your note in my wallet till the tide ran low. You wrote both our names on the back of the receipt, folded it into your bag. By the time I turned around to say something, you were already halfway to the steps. If I go back down to that shore, I'll know the crack post by the ramp, past the stacked nets and the slick wood planks, where the whole harbor starts to hum. By the night sea before the boats came in. By the night sea before the boats came in. Your hair still smelling like salt and the foam still on your sleeves. By the night sea before the boats came in. By the night sea before the boats came in. I kept your note in my wallet till the tide ran low. The night sea keeps breathing against the rocks below. Your rolled up sleeves on the rail, salt on the cuffs. We stayed out past the last bus home. August still warm on the dock boards. You said one more minute and didn't move, like you were trying to hold the season there. I folded the receipt from the snack stand and watched the ferry leave without us. The crowd had thinned out already, shoes dusty, shoulders warm. Your hand on the gate latch, no big speech, just two people trying to slow the dark. By the night sea when summer was leaving. By the night sea when summer was leaving. Your hair still carrying the heat and the foam still on your sleeves. By the night sea when summer was leaving. By the night sea when summer was leaving, I kept your note in my wallet long after the ice in our cups was gone. Warm beer, the gulls still crying, the fish market lights going down. You leaned on the pier and laughed at a shell you couldn't keep still. Late August, black water, half the benches already empty. We talked about nothing for hours while the tide kept sliding back. Late wind across the harbor rail, warm then gone, no big speech, just two people kicking sand off our shoes, not ready to go. By the night sea when summer was leaving, by the night sea when summer was leaving, your hair still carrying the heat and the foam still on your sleeves. By the night sea when summer was leaving, by the night sea when summer was leaving, I kept your note in my wallet long after the ice in our cups was gone. You wrote both our names on the back of the receipt, folded it into your bag. By the time I turned around to say something, the station clock had already changed. If I go back down to that shore, I'll know the crack post by the ramp, past the stacked nets and the damp wood planks, where the whole harbor feels half asleep. By the night sea when summer was leaving, by the night sea when summer was leaving, your hair still carrying the heat and the foam still on your sleeves. By the night sea when summer was leaving, I kept your note in my wallet till the tide ran low. The evening tide whispers against the shore below. Your rolled up sleeves on the rail, salt on the cuffs. We lingered past the final bus home, August warmth still on the dock boards. You murmured just one more moment and didn't stir, like you wished to freeze the season right there. I smoothed the crumpled receipt from the snack stand and watched the ferry pull away without us. The crowd had already dispersed, shoes dusty, shoulders warm. Your hand on the gate latch, no grand pronouncements, just two figures trying to hold back the encroaching dark. Beside the night sea as summer departed, beside the night sea as summer departed, your hair still holding on to the day's warmth and the sea spray clinging to your sleeves. Beside the night sea as summer departed, beside the night sea as summer departed, I treasured your message in my wallet long after the ice in our drinks had melted. Lukewarm beer, the gulls still calling, the fish market lights dimming one by one. You leaned on the pier, chuckling softly at a shell that just wouldn't stay put. Late August, dark waters, half the benches already vacant. We chatted about trifles for hours while the ocean steadily receded. Cool breeze sweeping across the harbor rail, warm then vanished vanished. No grand pronouncements, just two figures brushing sand from our shoes, reluctant to leave beside the night sea as summer departed. Beside the night sea as summer departed. Your hair still holding on to the day's warmth, and the sea spray clinging to your sleeves. Beside the night sea as summer departed. Beside the night sea as summer departed. I treasured your message in my wallet long after the ice in our drinks had melted. You jotted both our names on the receipts, reverse tucked it neatly into your bag. By the time I turned to voice a thought, the station clock had already shifted. If I ever return to that coastline, I'll recognize the weathered post by the ramp, past the stacked nets and the moist wooden planks, where the whole harbor seems to doze beside the night sea as summer departed. Beside the night sea as summer departed. Your hair still holding on to the day's warmth, and the sea spray clinging to your sleeves. Beside the night sea as summer departed. Beside the night sea as summer departed. I treasured your message in my wallet until the tide had fully withdrawn. The AC clicks and gives up, just pushes warm air around. Your sunglasses face down on the table, one hinge splayed out. You left a receipt note from the bar back soon, shoved under the sugar packet. I read it twice, then grabbed my keys. The ice machine banging somewhere down the hall. We caught the last call early, heat still stuck to the patio glass. Palm on the cooler door, no big speech, just two people pocketing change, slipping out of the cocktail bar before the rush. Out of the cocktail bar before the rush. Your straw still in the glass, and the lime wedge gone soft. Out of the cocktail bar before the rush. Out of the cocktail bar before the rush. I kept your receipt in my wallet till the road went blank. Rum and soda, too sweet, too cold. The menu board blinking blue. You leaned by the back bar rail, twisting your hair with a swizzle stick. Side street, July heat, every table half empty. We kept talking till the chairs were flipped and the ice had melted down. Late heat on the bar window, golden heart through the glass. No big speech, just two people pocketing change, slipping out. Out of the cocktail bar before the rush. Out of the cocktail bar before the rush. Your straw still in the glass, and the lime wedge gone soft. Out of the cocktail bar before the rush. Out of the cocktail bar before the rush. I kept your receipt in my wallet till the road went blank. You signed both our names on the tab, folded it into your bag. By the time I turned around to ask, you were already halfway down the block. If I end up back at that bar, I'll know the chip tie past the stacked up crates and the sticky floor, where the whole place starts to hum. Out of the cocktail bar before the rush, out of the cocktail bar before the rush. Your straw still in the glass and the lime wedge gone soft. Out of the cocktail bar before the rush, out of the cocktail bar before the rush. I kept your receipt in my wallet till the road went blank. Woke up to the fan spinning like it knew my name. Bare feet on the tile, ice in a paper cup a day. You hit me with a text, said meet me where the water bends. I grabbed my faded shades and let the morning start again. Heat on my shoulder, salt on my skin. Window down, let the whole thing in. We don't need a reason, we just run right into the sun. Summer on my tongue, summer on my tongue. Pull me closer now, let the good day come. Summer on my tongue, summer on my tongue. Bite of peach and fire, we don't need to talk. Blue truck by the curb, sand still stuck in the seams. You laugh on the breeze like it's shaking loose my seams. Late train, long road, everybody's going home. We stay where the night keeps the warmest kind of glow. Heat on my shoulder, salt on my skin. Window down, let the whole thing in. We don't need a reason, we just run right into the sun. Summer on my tongue, summer on my tongue. Pull me closer now, let the good day come. Summer on my tongue, summer on my tongue. Bite of peach and fire, we don't need to talk. Turn the corner slow, let the seconds melt. Kissed by the fading light like nobody else. If the season ends, let it leave a mark. I'll keep your name like a spark in the dark. Summer on my tongue, summer on my tongue. Pull me closer now, let the good day come. Summer on my tongue, summer on my tongue. Bite of peach and fire, we don't need to talk. The first cold tide brushed the pilings below. You tipped your chin up at the bare blue overhead. We stayed past the last bus out September hanging over the dartboards. You said one more minute and didn't move, like you could hold that sky in place. I folded the wrinkled receipt from the kiosk and watched the ferry slip off without us. The crowd had already thinned out, shoe scuffed jackets pulled close, your hand on the gate latch. No big speech, just two people looking up before the dark came early beside the harbor under that autumn sky. Beside the harbor under that autumn sky. Your hair still catching the last of the afternoon, and the cold spray landing on your sleeves. Beside the harbor under that autumn sky. Beside the harbor under that autumn sky. I kept your note in my back pocket long after the paper cups went soft. Flat beer, the gulls still complaining, the fish market bulbs dropping out one by one. You leaned on the pier laughing under your breath at a cloud line slipping clean toward dusk. Late September, darker water, half the benches already empty. We talked about nothing for hours while the sky kept changing over our heads. A cool wind cut across the harbor rail, warm and gone. No big speech, just two people brushing grit from our shoes, not ready to go. Beside the harbor under that autumn sky. Beside the harbor under that autumn sky. Your hair still catching the last of the afternoon, and the cold spray landing on your sleeves. Beside the harbor under that autumn sky. Beside the harbor under that autumn sky. I kept your note in my back pocket long after the paper cups went soft. You wrote both our names on the back of the receipt and slipped it into your bag. By the time I found the words to speak, the station clock had already changed. If I ever go back to that shoreline, I'll know the bent post by the ramp, past the stacked nets and the damp boards, where that autumn sky still leans over the harbor. Beside the harbor under that autumn sky. Beside the harbor under that autumn sky. Your hair still catching the last of the afternoon, and the cold spray landing on your sleeves. Beside the harbor under that autumn sky. Beside the harbor under that autumn sky. I kept your note in my back pocket until the tide had pulled far back. First cold air came down the trail. You tipped your chin up at the ridgeline, cutting pale through the maples. We stayed past the last switchback. September under our boots. You said one more minute and didn't move, like you could pin that view in place. I folded the trail map into quarters and watched the parking lot disappear behind the trees. The day had already thinned out, boots dusty, sleeves pulled close. Your hand on the split rail fence, no big speech, just two people looking out before the light gave up early. Up on the hill under that autumn sky. Up on the hill under that autumn sky. Your hair still catching the last of the afternoon, and the cold wind working through your sleeves. Up on the hill under that autumn sky. Up on the hill under that autumn sky. I kept your note in my jacket pocket long after the thermos went lukewarm. Granola crumbs, the trail sign leaning left, the lookout bench creaking in the wind. Branch by branch you rested on a rock, laughing under your breath at a line of geese sliding south in order. Late September, darker woods, half the hikers already turned around. We talked about nothing for miles while the hills kept opening out ahead of us. A sharp breeze cut across the ridge path, warm then gone. No big speech, just two people knocking the mud off our boots, not ready to head back. Up on the hill under that autumn sky. Up on the hill under that autumn sky. Your hair still catching the last of the afternoon, and the cold wind working through your sleeves. Up on the hill under that autumn sky. Up on the hill under that autumn sky. I kept your note in my jacket pocket long after the thermos went lukewarm. You wrote both our names on the back of the trail map and tucked it inside your bag. By the time I found the words to say, the ranger station clock had already turned. If I ever go back to that hillside, I'll know the bent sign by the pines, past the roots, the stones, the muddy cut, where that autumn sky still hangs over the trail. Up on the hill under that autumn sky. Up on the hill under that autumn sky. Your hair still catching the last of the afternoon, and the cold wind working through your sleeves. Up on the hill under that autumn sky. Up on the hill under that autumn sky. I kept your note in my jacket pocket until the last light slipped behind the trees. The first cold air slipped through the cafe door. You traced the steam on your mug while the maples blushed across the window. We stayed past the lunch rush, October on the glass. You said one more sip and didn't move, like you could hold that view in place. I folded the paper napkin into a little square and watched the streetcar pass slow in the wet pavement. The afternoon had already thinned out, coats on the chair back, sleeves tugged down. Your hand around the warm cup, no big speech, just two people watching the trees turn one shade softer. From the cafe under that autumn sky, from the cafe under that autumn sky, your face still lit by the last good daylight and the cool air sneaking in every time the door swung. From the cafe under that autumn sky, from the cafe under that autumn sky, I kept your note beside the sugar jar long after the coffee had gone flat. Spoon clinking, the receipt curling at the edge, the front window fogging up then clearing line by line. You leaned back in the chair laughing under your breath at a kid chasing leaves across the crosswalk outside. Late October, slower sidewalks, half the tables already empty. We talked about nothing for miles while the row of trees kept changing color out front. A cold draft slid under the door, warm then gone. No big speech, just two people wiping our cups clean, not ready to leave. From the cafe under that autumn sky, from the cafe under that autumn sky, your face still lit by the last good daylight and the cool air sneaking in every time the door swung. From the cafe under that autumn sky, from the cafe under that autumn sky, I kept your note beside the sugar jar long after the coffee had gone flat. You wrote both our names on the back of the takeout receipt and tucked it into your coat. By the time I found the words to say, the pastry case had already been emptied. If I ever go back to that corner cafe, I'll know the chip blue cup by the window, past the umbrellas, the bikes, the wet curb, where that autumn sky still hangs over the street. From the cafe under that autumn sky, from the cafe under that autumn sky, your face still lit by the last good daylight and the cool air sneaking in every time the door swung. From the cafe under that autumn sky, from the cafe under that autumn sky, I kept your note beside the sugar jar until the street lamps came on one by one. The night sea keeps breathing against the rocks below, but I'm up on the ridge now, boots full of leaf dust. You left your cap on the porch, sweat dried in the seam. Be right back, scrawled on the back of a ticket. I kept it in my jacket, then watched the trail bend, a train whistle thinning out in the valley. We made it past the first steep rise, cold air sitting in the pine, hand on the rough fence post. No big speech, just two people brushing dirt off our knees, moving on. By the switchback where the maples start to turn, by the switchback where the maples start to turn. Your shirt still holding summer, and my hands still warm from the climb. By the switchback where the maples start to turn, by the switchback where the maples start to turn. I kept your note in my pocket till the air went thin. Thermos coffee, the crows still loud, the trailhead lot half empty. You leaned against a boulder, rolling a pine cone in your palm. Dry grass, September wind, half the fire rings left cold. We kept talking till the last light slipped behind the ridge. Late wind through the cedar line, sharp and clean up the slope. No big speech, just two people brushing dirt off our knees, moving on. by the switchback where the maples start to turn. By the switchback where the maples start to turn. Your shirt's still holding summer, and my hand's still warm from the climb. By the switchback where the maples start to turn. By the switchback where the maples start to turn. I kept your note in my pocket till the air went thin. You wrote both our names on the back of the trail pass, stuffed it into your pack. By the time I turned around to say something, you were already halfway to the ridge. If I go back up to that path, I'll know the split rock by the bend, past the fallen log and the wet moss, where the whole hillside starts to breathe. By the switchback where the maples start to turn. By the switchback where the maples start to turn. Your shirt's still holding summer, and my hand's still warm from the climb. By the switchback where the maples start to turn. By the switchback where the maples start to turn. I kept your note in my pocket till the air went thin. First cold air bit through the cafe door. You watched the steam rise from your mug. Maples outside turn into rust. We lingered long past the lunch crowd. October haze on the glass. You said just one more minute, a whisper, like time itself could pause for us. I smoothed out the napkin, a perfect crease, and saw the streetcar's reflection on the wet street. The afternoon light began to fade. Coats draped on chairs, sleeves pulled down tight. Your hand a warmth around the ceramic. No grand declarations, just us two, watching the world outside soften and blur from the cafe beneath that fading light. From the cafe beneath that fading light. Your eyes still caught the last of the day's glow, as the chill air snuck in each time the door swung open. From the cafe beneath that fading light. From the cafe beneath that fading light. I kept your note tucked by the sugar bowl long after the coffee had turned cold. Spoon scraped porcelain, the receipt curled at the edge. The window pane fogged, then cleared in streaks. You leaned back, a low laugh escaped you at a kid kicking leaves across the crosswalk. Late October, the sidewalks emptying out, most tables now bare and waiting. We talked of nothing for what felt like hours, while the trees outside bled into autumn. A sudden draft crept under the frame, warmth gone, then a shiver. No grand declarations, just us two, wiping our cups clean, still wanting to stay. From the cafe beneath that fading light. From the cafe beneath that fading light. Your eyes still caught the last of the day's glow, time the door swung open. From the cafe beneath that fading light, from the cafe beneath that fading light, I kept your note tucked by the sugar bowl long after the coffee had turned cold. You scribbled our names on the back of the takeout slip, then slipped it into your pocket. By the time I found the words to speak, the pastry case lay empty, crumbs all that remained. If I ever go back to that corner cafe, I'll find the same chipped blue cup by the window, past the scattered bikes, the wet curb, the umbrellas where that autumn sky still presses down on the street. From the cafe beneath that fading light, from the cafe beneath that fading light, your eyes still caught the last of the day's glow, as the chill air snuck in each time the door swung open. From the cafe beneath that fading light, from the cafe beneath that fading light, I kept your note tucked by the sugar bowl until the streetlights flickered on, one by one. The harbor lights are off, but the tide keeps working the stone. I'm up on the bluff now, jacket damp with salt. You left your gloves on the table, one finger stitched loose. Back in a minute, on the edge of an old receipt. I folded it once, put it with my keys, while the ferry horn faded out past the breakwater. We made it over the first long grade, cold air catching in the grass, your hand on the split rail. No big speech, just two people wiping mud off our shoes, moving on. At the turn where the pines lean in close, at the turn where the pines lean in close, your sweater still smells like cedar, and my sleeves are cold from the climb. At the turn where the pines lean in close, at the turn where the pines lean in close, I kept your line in my jacket till the road ran out. Paper cup coffee, gulls still loud, the overlook lot almost empty. You stood by the signpost, turning a pebble in your thumb. Dry brush October wind, half the picnic table stained gray. We kept talking till the last color slipped behind the hill. Late wind through the fir trees, thin and sharp on the slope. No big speech, just two people wiping mud off our shoes, moving on. At the turn where the pines are leaning close, at the turn where the pines are leaning close, your sweater still smells like cedar, and my sleeves are cold from the climb. At the turn where the pines are leaning close, at the turn where the pines are leaning close, I kept your line in my jacket till the road ran out. You wrote both our names on the back of the parking stub, tucked it in your You were already down by the fence line. If I go back up that hill, I'll know the split stone by the bend, past the driftwood pile and the slick moss, where the whole shore starts to breathe. At the turn where the pines lean in close, at the turn where the pines lean in close, your sweater still smells like cedar, and my sleeves are cold from the climb. At the turn where the pines lean in close, at the turn where the pines lean in close, I kept your line in my jacket till the road ran out. The harbor lights are off, but the tide keeps working the stone. I'm up on the bluff now, jacket damp with salt. You left your gloves on the table, one finger stitched loose. Back in a minute on the edge of an old receipt. I folded it once, put it with my keys, while the ferry horn faded out past the breakwater. We made it over the first long grade, cold air catching in the grass. Your hand on the split rail, no big speech, just two people wiping mud off our shoes, moving on. At the turn where the pines lean in close, at the turn where the pines lean in close, your sweater still smells like cedar, and my sleeves are cold from the climb. At the turn where the pines lean in close, at the turn where the pines lean in close, I kept your line in my jacket till the road ran out. Paper cup coffee, gull still loud, the overlook lot almost empty. You stood by the signpost, turning a pebble in your thumb. Dry brush October wind, half the picnic table stained gray. We kept talking till the last color slipped behind the hill. Late wind through the fir trees, thin and sharp on the slope. No big speech, just two people wiping mud off our shoes, moving on. At the turn where the pines lean in close, at the turn where the pines lean in close, your sweater still smells like cedar, and my sleeves are cold from the climb. At the turn where the pines lean in close, at the turn where the pines lean in close, I kept your line in my jacket till the road ran out. You wrote both our names on the back of the parking stub, tucked it in your wallet. By the time I looked up to answer, you were already down by the fence line. If I go back up that hill, I'll know the split stone by the bend, past the driftwood pile and the slick moss, where the whole shore starts to breathe. At the turn where the pines lean in close, at the turn where the pines lean in close, your sweater still smells like cedar, and my sleeves are cold from the climb. At the turn where the pines lean in close, at the turn where the pines lean in close, I kept your line in my jacket till the road ran out. harbor lights are off, but the tide keeps working the stone. I'm up on the bluff now, jacket damp with salt. You left your gloves on the table, one finger stitched loose. Back in a minute, on the edge of an old receipt. I folded it once, put it with my keys, while the ferry horn faded out past the breakwater. We made it over the first long grade, cold air catching in the grass. Your hand on the split rail, no big speech, just two people wiping mud off our shoes, moving on. At the turn where the pines lean in close, at the turn where the pines lean in close. Your sweater still smells like cedar, and my sleeves are cold from the climb. At the turn where the pines lean in close, at the turn where the pines lean in close. I kept your line in my jacket till the road ran out. Paper cup coffee, gulls still loud. The overlook lot almost empty. You stood by the signpost, turning a pebble in your thumb. Dry brush, October wind, half the picnic table stained gray. We kept talking till the last color slipped behind the hill. Late wind through the fir trees, thin and sharp on the slope. No big speech, just two people wiping mud off our shoes, moving on. At the turn where the pines lean in close, at the turn where the pines lean in close. Your sweater still smells like cedar, and my sleeves are cold from the climb. At the turn where the pines lean in close, at the turn where the pines lean in close. I kept your line in my jacket till the road ran out. You wrote both our names on the back of the park and stub tucked it in your wallet. By the time I looked up to answer, you were already down by the fence line. If I go back up that hill, I'll know the split stone by the bend, past the driftwood pile and the slick moss, where the whole shore starts to breathe. At the turn where the pines lean in close, at the turn where the pines lean in close. Your sweater still smells like cedar, and my sleeves are cold from the climb. At the turn where the pines lean in close, at the turn where the pines lean in close. I kept your line in my jacket till the road ran out. The harbor lights are off, but the tide keeps working the stone. I'm up on the bluff now, jacket damp with salt. You left your gloves on the table, one finger stitched loose. Back in a minute, on the edge of an old receipt. I folded it once, put it with my keys, while the ferry horn faded out past the breakwater. We made it over the first long grade, cold air catching in the grass. Your hand on the split rail, no big speech, just two people wiping mud off our shoes, moving on. At the turn where the pines lean in close, at the turn where the pines lean in close. Your sweater still smells like cedar, and my sleeves are cold from the climb. At the turn where the pines lean in close, at the turn where the pines lean in close. I kept your line in my jacket till the road ran out. paper cup coffee goes still out. The overlook lot almost empty. You stood by the signpost, turning a pebble in your thumb. Dry brush, October wind, half the picnic table stained gray. We kept talking till the last color slipped behind the hill. Late wind through the fir trees, thin and sharp on the slope. No big speech, just two people wiping mud off our shoes, moving on at the turn where the pines lean in close. At the turn where the pines lean in close. Your sweater still smells like cedar, and my sleeves are cold from the climb. At the turn where the pines lean in close. At the turn where the pines lean in close. I kept your line in my jacket till the road ran out. You wrote both our names on the back of the parking stub, tucked it in your wallet. By the time I looked up to answer, you were already down by the fence line. If I go back up that hill, I'll know the split stone by the bend, past the driftwood pile and the slick moss, where the whole shore starts to breathe. At the turn where the pines lean in close. At the turn where the pines lean in close. Your sweater still smells like cedar, and my sleeves are cold from the climb. At the turn where the pines lean in close. At the turn where the pines lean in close. I kept your line in my jacket till the road ran out. The dark lights are gone, but the water keeps sanding the pilings. I'm on the old hill, sleeves wet with mist. The wind cuts clean straight through my shirt. You left your scarf on the chair by the sink. The grocery list folded inside the map. I flattened it out, set it with my watch, while the last boat groaned past the black buoys. We climbed past the dead blackberry canes, breath hanging in the cold. Your hand on the gate latch, no big speech, just us, brushing dirt from our knees, heading down. At the bend where the cedars crowd the road. At the bend where the cedars crowd the road. Your coat still holds the smell of soap, and my hands are stiff from the climb. At the bend where the cedars crowd the road. At the bend where the cedars crowd the road. I kept your note in my pocket till the road gave out. Lukewarm gas station coffee crows in the wires. The pull-out lot almost clear. You stood by the mile marker, rolling a flat white stone between your palms. Dry grass, late October, 3 picnic tables split in gray. We talked until the sun dropped low behind the ridge. Cold wind through the cedar tops, thin and hard on the slope. No big speech, just us, brushing dirt from our knees, heading down. At the bend where the cedars crowd the road. At the bend where the cedars crowd the road. Your coat still holds the smell of soap, and my hands are stiff from the climb. At the bend where the cedars crowd the road. At the bend where the cedars crowd the road. I kept your note in my pocket till the road gave out. You signed both our names on the back of the receipt and slipped it in your wallet. By the time I turned to say something, you were already at the fence looking off. If I walk that hill again, I'll know the cracked post by the curve, past the driftwood stack and the slick moss, where the shore starts moving again. At the bend where the cedars crowd the road, at the bend where the cedars crowd the road, your coat still holds the smell of soap, and my hands are stiff from the climb. At the bend where the cedars crowd the road, at the bend where the cedars crowd the road, I kept your note in my pocket till the road gave out. The harbor lights are off, but the tide keeps working the stone. I'm up on the bluff now, a jacket damp with salt. The air bites sharp, a cold familiar sting. You left your gloves on the table, one finger stitched loose. Back in a minute, scrawled on an old receipt. I smoothed it out, tucked it with my keys, while the ferry horn faded out past the breakwater. We made it over the first long grade, cold air catching in the grass. Your hand on the split rail, no grand farewell, just two people wiping mud off our shoes, moving on. At the turn where the pines lean in close, at the turn where the pines lean in close, your sweater still smells like cedar, and my sleeves are cold from the climb. At the turn where the pines lean in close, at the turn where the pines lean in close, I kept your line in my jacket till the road ran out. Paper cup coffee, gulls still out, the overlook lot almost empty. You stood by the signpost, turning a smooth gray pebble in your thumb. Dry brush, October wind, half the picnic tables weathered gray. We kept talking till the last light slipped behind the hill. Late wind through the fir trees, thin and sharp on the slope. No grand farewell, just two people wiping mud off our shoes, moving on. At the turn where the pines lean in close, at the turn where the pines lean in close, your sweater still smells like cedar, and my sleeves are cold from the climb. At the turn where the pines lean in close, at the turn where the pines lean in close, I kept your line in my jacket till the road ran out. You wrote both our names on the back of the parking stub, tucked it in your wallet. By the time I looked up to answer, you were already down by the fence line looking out. If I go back up that hill, I'll know the split stone by the bend, past the driftwood pile and the slick moss, where the whole shore starts to breathe. At the turn where the pines lean in close, at the turn where the pines lean in close, your sweater still smells like cedar, and my sleeves are cold from the climb. At the turn where the pines lean in close, at the turn where the pines lean in close, I kept your line in my jacket till the road ran out. Stir in the room at the motel, the cheap lamp leaning over the bed, your sneakers by the door, one tongue folded under. You left a note on the back of a grocery ad, back in a minute, rushed and small. I read it once, then reached for my jacket, the ice machine knocking down the hall. Caught the bus at first light, heat already on the windows. Palm flat to the glass, no long talk, just two people, stuffing pockets, heading out. Out before sunrise, out before sunrise. Your shirt still on the hook, and the curtain hanging wrong. Out before sunrise, out before sunrise. I kept your matchbook with me till the highway ran out. Gas station coffee burnt and thin, the diner sign flickering green. You leaned on the soda machine, tying your hair with a receipt. County road, low clouds, every truck stop half awake. We kept moving till the exits thinned, and the map went plain. Morning heat on the windshield, white and hard through the glass. No long talk, just two people, stuffing pockets, heading out. Out before sunrise, out before sunrise. Your shirt still on the hook, and the curtain hanging wrong. Out before sunrise, out before sunrise. I kept your matchbook with me till the highway ran out. You signed both our names on the receipt, folded it into your bag. By the time I turned around to ask, you were already halfway gone. If I land on that road again, I'll know the fence by the bend, past the dead pump and the peeled up paint, where the whole place starts to fade. Out before sunrise, out before sunrise. Your shirt still on the hook, and the curtain hanging wrong. Out before sunrise, out before sunrise. I kept your matchbook with me till the highway ran out. Stir in the room at the motel, that cheap lamp leaning over the bed, your sneakers by the door, one tongue folded under. You left a note on the back of a grocery ad, back in a minute, rushed and small. I read it once, then reached for my jacket, the ice machine knocking down the hall. Caught the bus at first light, heat already on the windows. Palm flat to the glass, no long talk, just two people, stuffing pockets, heading out. Out before sunrise, out before sunrise. Your shirt still curtain hanging wrong. Out before sunrise, out before sunrise. I kept your matchbook with me till the highway ran out. Gas station coffee burnt and thin, the diner sign flickering green. You leaned on the soda machine, tying your hair with a receipt. County road, low clouds, every truck stop, half awake. We kept moving till the exits thinned and the map went plain. Morning heat on the windshield, white and hard through the glass. No long talk, just two people stuffing pockets, heading out. Out before sunrise, out before sunrise. Your shirt's still on the hook and the curtain hanging wrong. Out before sunrise, out before sunrise. I kept your matchbook with me till the highway ran out. You signed both our names on the receipt, folded it into your bag. By the time I turned around to ask, you were already halfway gone. If I land on that road again, I'll know the fence by the bend, past the dead pump and the peeled up paint, where the whole place starts to fade. Out before sunrise, out before sunrise. Your shirt's still on the hook and the curtain hanging wrong. Out before sunrise, out before sunrise. I kept your matchbook with me till the highway ran out. Woke up to the fan spinning slow in the motel room. Salt on your old canvas shoes, your shirt still hung on the chair like proof. You sent one last text, don't wait up, I'm down at the pier. So I took the long way out with your name looping in my ear. Salt on my collar, heat on my face, tide rolling in at a 95 pace. No big reason, we just stood there, watching those boats slip by, left by the sea, left by the sea. Your hand in my hand, then you pulled back from me. Left by the sea, left by the sea. A red scarf, one kiss, and the gulls kept calling. White sand on the dash, and the rental car still smelling warm. You laughed at the wind while the dock lights came on. Late ferry, empty road, everybody else had moved on. We stayed till the water took the last light and ran. Salt on my collar, heat on my face, tide rolling in at a 95 pace. No big reason, we just stood there, watching those boats slip by, left by the sea, left by the sea. Your hand in my hand, then you pulled back from me. Left by the sea, left by the sea. A red scarf, one kiss, and the gulls kept calling. I go back someday, I'll know the spot by the pier, right where the boards give out and the salt stays here. Left by the sea, left by the sea, your hand in my hand, then you pulled back from me. Left by the sea, left by the sea, a red scarf, one kiss, and the gulls kept calling. Woke up to the fan still humming in the motel room. Sandy shoes by the door, your shirt folded on the chair too soon. You sent one last text, don't wait up, I'm down by the pier. So I walked to the shore with your name stuck in my ear. Salt on my collar, sun on my face, tide coming in at a slow 95 pace. We didn't need a reason, we just stood there watching the boats drift. Left it by the sea, left it by the sea, your hand in my hand, then you slipped away from me. Left it by the sea, left it by the sea, a red scarf, one kiss, and the gulls kept calling. White sand on the dash and the rental car beat up and warm. You laughed through the wind while the dock lights flickered on. Late ferry, quiet road, everybody packed up and gone. We stayed till the water took the last of the day along. Salt on my collar, sun on my face, tide coming in at a slow 95 pace. We didn't need a reason, we just stood there watching the boats drift. Left it by the sea, left it by the sea, your hand in my hand, then you slipped away from me. Left it by the sea, left it by the sea, a red scarf, one kiss, and the gulls kept calling. We drew our names in the sand, watched the waves undo the plan. No big goodbye, just your shirt in my hand. If I go back someday, I'll know exactly where we were, right where the pier breaks and the salt still stirs. Left it by the sea, left it by the sea, your hand in my hand, then you slipped away from me. Left it by the sea, left it by the sea, a red scarf, one kiss, and the gulls kept calling. Window open, fan on low, your laugh comes in with the street sound. There's salt on your wrist from the convenience store soda. I keep your name in the corner of my tongue, and I swear the room gets warmer when you answer. Come a little closer, stand where the fan can't reach that half step back. I know what it means tonight, no excuses, no leaving it hanging. If we say it straight, we can still make it easy. Summer night, back on, you and me, back in frame. Summer night, back on. The part of us that slipped away finds its way to your driveway. Summer night, back on, you and me, back in frame. Summer night, back on. The words we left unopened spill out in the dark and stay. On the balcony rail, your cold can peels and a paper straw. My phone lights up with your name and nothing else. We both know what this heat has been saying all day, pretending didn't make it less real. Just say it once, look at me, not past me. Those missed calls, they don't get to decide. Tonight we drop it, the pride, the weight. And if we start right here, we can leave it open. Summer night, back on, you and me, back in frame. Summer night, back on. The part of us that slipped away finds its way to your driveway. Summer night, back on, you and me, back in frame. Summer night, back on. The words we left unopened spill out in the dark and stay. One warm breeze through the window screen. Your fingers brush mine like they already know. Whatever pulled us apart can wait till morning. Say it plain, say it now. Sun and night, back on, you and me, back in frame. Summer night, back on. The part of us that slipped away finds its way to your driveway. Summer night, back on, you and me, back in frame. Summer night, back on. The words we left unopened spill out in the dark and stay. Even with the door shut, I can still see you. In my pocket, one crumpled note. Your full name keeps circling my mouth. It doesn't come off easy, this night goes on too long. One step closer, come over to my side. That look of hesitation, I can read it too, just for tonight. Try being honest, even if we start again, it's not too late. A night turned back on, you and me again. A night turned back on. The part of us that drifted off comes back where it belongs. A night turned back on, you and me again. A night turned back on. The words that acted finished start breathing again. Beside the empty cup, there's a print from your lips, an unread message still glowing over there. You know it too. The temperature between us What we thought had cooled still has a spark left. Just one more time, meet my eyes. Those hours we pretended not to know. Say it all. Even a broken heart can be put back together. Even if we start again, it's not too late. A night turned back on you and me again. A night turned back on the part of us that drifted off, comes back where it belongs. A night turned back on you and me again. A night turned back on the words that acted finished, start breathing again. A breath paused for a second, touches your fingertips. The reason we turned away doesn't matter anymore. One small piece of truth, that's enough. Say our names one more time. A night turned back on you and me again. A night turned back on the part of us that drifted off, comes back where it belongs. A night turned back on you and me again. A night turned back on the words that acted finished, start breathing again.